Right, kiddies, playtime is over. We've done 2 or 3 easy episodes. Let's get into the meat and gravy. Now, good habits would dictate if you have a notepad open and you make notes, you're going to find it easier. So especially when you come to debugging at the end, if you've got notes, variables and listing numbers like I've got here, you're going to find it easier. Another super tip as well is you can input a range. So when you list, you don't have to list everything like I just did. You can say list from 10, 200. And it will show you 20 lines, and that's about what you can fit on one screen, as you'll see. But before we get started, let's just run through the program and see where we are at the moment. Let's see how we're doing. Just in case you're interested, the beep's in there as a placeholder. I'm actually going to put the Match of the Day theme tune in there at some point. But the important bit is the instructions and the setup guide. So your usability is the main thing here. You're setting up the user really to use the program. So giving them a little bit of background information, general sort of good tips on gambling, get them in the right attitude, the right frame of mind to be not throwing the money away. The point of this is to restrict losses more than anything. So that's the point here. So moving on from that, we will have a little bit of information about the kind of markets that we'll be predicting for, and other modifiers and things which will affect the actual match day experience and the occasion, what the result's going to be. And that's the whole point, ladies and gentlemen, is the result. We want to predict results in order to hopefully make a profit. How we're going to do that is we're simplifying the query down as much as we can, and then we're putting as much complexity into the answer as we can, and that's why we need the computer. Quiz question, who was alive then? 1997. What's weird actually, when I started out gambling, I didn't even like football at all. I'd never even really played football. I definitely didn't watch it. I just thought in my head it's predictable. That's why I don't watch it. It's just, everyone knows what's going to happen. Man United are going to win, for instance. And that's how I got into football. But now I love football and I'm not really that much into gambling. So perhaps the idea came out of necessity because I did need money. So that's the thing that draws people to gambling. But the reason I only do it for fun now is because to make money with it, which I did, it's so stressful. I can't even explain to you. It's like more than a 24-hour day job. It's so ridiculous. So yeah, I think as long as we stick to having fun with it and not thinking that we're going to replace our day job with it, it's great fun and it's fine. But yeah, just don't get into that scenario. I mean, I hated it at the end of it. That's why I gave it up. It wasn't that much money. On the good months it was really great and I had loads of money, but on the bad months it was like awful and it didn't pay for itself at all. So on balance of things, it was as good as a job, but only because I did it more than 24 hours a day. Ridiculous. And I stressed myself out with it. So yeah, ixnay on the old gambling as a career, but let's have some fun with it. So back to the program. A little walk down memory lane there. I really do think it's important that we stress the problem of gambling at the moment, especially with young people. So this kind of thing, I don't want people to think I'm promoting a gambling lifestyle. I'm really not. I'm just a person who knows about a gambling lifestyle and thinks people that are involved in it need to make money with it, but more importantly than that, they need to show responsibility in their behaviour with it. Which segues nicely into the media distraction effects. It's a spelling mistake, it should be an E, effect. So as you can see, the program's going really nicely. I've got all my inputs, everything's labelled in the code, I've got my notes in there so other people can read it. And I'm trying to pull as much data out of people as I can, because what you put in is going to be the same quality as what you get put out at the end. So the predictions are going to be as good as the data you put in here. It's worth saying at this point as well, I've spent maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so learning BASIC, not really that intensively, maybe like 4 or 5 hours a week, something like that, and then an hour coding. And this result that I have, this program, is going really well. I haven't got to the maths crunching bit yet, that's going to be the real litmus test. But as you can see, if you've got a will to do it, you don't need to be a genius or a programming god or anything like that. You just need to have a basic understanding of maths and literature and English and logic, really, and then off you go. So as you can see here, I'm testing the program out, I'm giving it silly answers. Debugging suggests that I should have the facility, instead of saying no as an answer, you should be able to say n, no, negative, -1, you know, like whatever kind of thing, and it should still accept it as the right answer. And it should have an on-error statement to say, if you've typed in something weird, are you sure this is what you want, and what did you mean by this? So, you know, it's user friendliness, isn't it? Making sure that the user knows if they put in something ridiculous like this, how many goals in the last 12 games, it should query that. It's a ridiculous number. I think as well what I can do is when you put in that amount of wins, it knows there's 40 games in a season. So if you've put in a ridiculous amount, it should pull you up on it. I've made an error as well. Let's have a look, a little debugging. I'm not sure what I've done there. So anyway, I'll end it there. So I had a little look at the program there, showed you the progress that I've made. Hopefully you're doing something. That's the whole point in this, is I want more people to get into BASIC, and then we'll get to a stage in maybe a year or so where we can actually write really useful, you know, good, graphically nice programs, probably with background music and stuff. So, and we'll become our own community. This is a new computer system that's coming out with support for older stuff. Guys like us can use our old knowledge and apply it to this new stuff. So, yeah, I think in terms of the actual project, it's probably going to take a lot longer than I thought, actually. And as you can see, I just thought there, instead of putting no, I want to be able to put n, no, or nah, or nah, mate, or anything like this. I want to put error statements in there so that at the end you get out the best possible answer. So yeah, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.